You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, welcome everyone to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh, glad to be here with you, and I'm glad that you're here with us. A little bit of a glitch this morning. Feels like for some reason, since we didn't have the show on Friday on video, only on the radio, because of some type of glitch that I've never seen before. Just seems like I was out of sorts this morning, and I just got to get back into it, get the mojo going. And thankfully, we have Nick Gervais joining us momentarily to help with the mojo, because I kind of need it this morning, just to get a little bit of a burst of energy, which Nick can easily bring to the table. So glad to have her standing by to come on. I'm glad to be with you. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM. We're also streaming at cklu.ca. You can click on the Radio Player Canada app. You can also download the Radio Player Canada app and take us with you and listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. Also, there's other great programming here at CKLU that you can check in on anytime. And we're grateful that you're here with us. We have a lot of people jumping on this morning, despite not having the live stream on Facebook or YouTube on Friday. Thankfully, it looks like so far so good that we're here. And I also have a little bit different setup in my new studio. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow on YouTube and Facebook, but mainly comment, because this is your conversation on your station here in Greater Sudbury. And if you're not from around here, it doesn't matter. You can still check in with us and comment, because a lot of the things we talk about probably have something to do with the community that you live in as well. And we have a great conversation each and every weekday morning between 7:30 and 8:30. So thanks for hopping on. Let's jump in with a little bit of Sudbury weather, and we'll be back with news headlines and Nick Gervais right after the weather. Stay tuned. And your Sudbury weather is brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently, it's 1 degree, light rain out there. And today you can expect snow to rain this morning, a risk of freezing rain early this morning, excuse me, an amount of 15 to 25 millimeters. And the high will be about 8 today. Tonight, periods of rain ending near midnight, then cloudy with a 40% chance of flurries, and high of -1. It's getting colder, cold and wet. That's what we've had for the last couple of weeks. Tuesday, which is tomorrow, overcast. There'll be a little bit of wind. High near 0, but the wind chill will be -7 in the afternoon tomorrow. The low will be -1. Long range, again, 0 overcast for Tuesday. Wednesday, -1, mix of sun and cloud. Thursday, chance of rain or flurries, and that's 60% chance. Friday, 30% chance of flurries, high of 1 degree. Saturday, chance of flurries, 1 degree. -1, is your high. And 1 on Sunday, and sunny. So I guess if you can hold off till Sunday, you'll be able to get some sun. And a little bit of look at your satellite over northern Ontario. It's just really messy looking with a lot of the green stuff you can see. That doesn't mean green like grass or plants or anything like that, or trees. It means precipitation activity coming in from the northern United States over Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, coming our way, and that's we already have that. We're already experiencing it because this satellite image was taken at 1 a.m. and so it's already progressed, and we are getting that rain, freezing rain, a little bit of mixture out there. So make sure if you're driving, make sure you got your winter tires on, and if you don't, make sure to get them on as soon as possible, and take care and stay safe while you're out there. So we got a few people already kind of commenting, and we're looking forward um, to welcoming you right after weather, and we'll also welcome our co-host this morning, Nick Gervais. So that's your Sudbury weather, brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. We'll be right back. And we are indeed back, and we do, as promised, have Nick Gervais joining us this morning. I just unmuted you on my side, and if you got the mute on your side, which I can hear you. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm happy to be here. I was off with a cold all week last week. It was a lingerer.
Yeah, it lingered very long.
It does. It did.
Yeah.
And you know what, Aaron? It's okay to get sick. This is something. If you're someone who never ever gets sick, you're not really building your immune system. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. And my immune system is in check. I'm healthy. And sometimes it's just an opportunity for us to just relax and chill and regroup and refocus and refine ourselves. So it's okay if you get sick sometimes.
I think you're right. It's people are very afraid these days to get sick. Any little symptoms. I learned, I guess you can say, that that's your body's own way of detoxifying and getting rid of the bad stuff. And a lot of times, let's say you take medication, it just pushes it down or suppresses it, and it's still inside of you, and you didn't give it a chance to do its thing and get rid of whatever's causing you to be sick in the first place, right? So
Yeah.
I guess there's lots to learn in terms of health, and it's a huge learning curve, and it just takes a little bit of desire to look into.
So much information out there.
Oh, for sure. And it's your health, right? So you are in charge of your health, and it should be up to everybody to navigate their own health to the best of their ability. And that, I think, and then you can tell other people if you say, hey, you know what? I got this thing, and it really did the trick. It's the thing. It works.
Yeah.
And then you can either decide to try that thing or not. And that's cool.
Yeah.
You know,
I try not to take any medication, but if I didn't take any Advils, my bones felt it. So I was just like, whatever. I want to feel good. And you're supposed to live through the fever, you know? You don't want to stop a fever, but man, when you're having a fever, it is not comfortable at all. So you're just stretching out your cold.
Yeah, it's true. There's so much to do with health. I mean, we've learned so much over the last, and it was because our children had, basically because of necessity, we had to learn about health. Thanks to them and some of the health problems they had. Well, there was a silver lining, and that's that we really learned a lot about the human body and about just the health in general. So I would encourage anybody to really just don't take what you're told and try things out, dig in, and grandma's recipes of,
oh my gosh,
time tested and true. A lot. That's where I would start with those, and then kind of branch out from there. All the gingers, the lemons, the honeys of the world, and things like that. Just miracle, garlic, you name it. There's all kinds.
They call now alternative medicine.
It's alternative, exactly. It's not mainstream,
and they're trying to cancel your grandma's recipe.
I think so. It's really
weird.
We live in a weird world, and we know that. So joining us a few people already up and at it. Monique, good morning, Sudbury, with a heart emoji. Thank you very much. You just barely beat Judy, who's normally first on Facebook, but good morning, Judy. Thanks for being with us. Belinda as well usually has a really positive kind of shout out. And it's a little dim in my office this morning. I don't think I turned on one of the lights. So even my screen, if it's dim in here, the screen's a little dimmer. So I'll do my best. Unless you're able to read that, Nick.
Oh, good morning. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls to most massive characters are seared with scars. Be
Yeah.
good to yourself. And this
Yeah.
is true, guys. That's why sometimes as a parent, sometimes I'm wondering if, I'm screwing up my kid. Okay. And this is going to relate. And I thought to myself, my parents did a little bit of screwing up to me and I turned out really good. And I
Yeah.
find the people who've had a screwed up childhood, they turn out pretty awesome. Here's the thing. You have the opportunity.
You're right.
You can.
Yeah.
It's like a crossroad. You go down another road because you're sad and you're a victim. You're going down that road or the other road where you're like, you know what? I'm going to prove to the world that I'm somebody.
If you're a victim,
in the end, you're just proving to yourself.
Exactly. If you're a victim, you'll just keep being a victim and you'll blame other people because you're a victim. And until you realize, wait a minute here, I got to take ownership of my own stuff, my own, even if it's garbage. And even if, other people did all kinds of things to you, you still, it doesn't take away your responsibility to turn it around and make it work for you. Right.
Exactly. So this is a new office you're in?
Yeah.
What's that box in the background?
Yeah. That's an old style hockey. Those table
hockey
games? That's like from the 1930s or something like that.
Wow.
It's incredible.
It's classic.
And it's in immaculate shape. It's really awesome. That's for our sports segment.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Denise also joining us says, good morning from Espanola. Bless the journey. Yes. And this is Tracy. Good morning to all. With a heart emoji, a really cool one. Good morning, everyone, from Victoria. Thank you. Oh, no. Yeah, Victoria, right? And Dennis, also a little damp today. It is a little damp today. It's actually very moist, cold, wet, gross. Anyways, that's me. But
it's just been raining so much.
I know. It's crazy.
Wow.
And Lee's on YouTube joining us this morning. Good morning, Lee's. And Belinda says, welcome, a Nick heart emoji. Denise says, the weather this year is just like 2021. I'd have to go back in my mind. Every year almost blends in to each other. Yeah. It's hard to decipher. Trevor is giving a link here. So hopefully, trying to see what
someone is denied an organ.
Oh, okay.
Unvaccinated individuals are still being denied organs.
Yeah, that he was from Sudbury. He died. You weren't on the show when that was happening, when we were talking about that?
No, I wasn't on the show, but I have heard about this guy. He has a small family too.
Yeah, young family. And what happened was I read the story. It was a national story, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll just have this on the show because this is terrible. And then turns out he was from Sudbury. So it's actually a Sudbury story. I didn't even realize it as I'm in the middle of reading it. And terrible, and so he's denied his organ transplant because he didn't get the health solution. Yeah, right. From the mainstream health authorities. He didn't get it. So they denied him an organ. And so he succumbed to his illness. Yep. And then while he's on his deathbed,
they'll take his organs.
His wife gets the call. Yeah. Say, would your husband be an organ donor?
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow, that's terrible. Like, of all the things to happen,
What did she say?
So, she just said, you really? You have the nerve to call me and ask my husband, he's dying right beside me right now in the bed. And you have the nerve to call me right now and ask for his organ for someone else. Crazy. Anyways.
Well, I wonder if she said, because how hero would that be?
Yeah, true, right? But it's just weird. I don't know if she ended up
doing so rude. Regardless, it would be hard to say yes when you literally killed my husband.
Yeah, exactly. So Maurice, good morning with a heart emoji. Good morning, Maurice. And so another link to another story from Trevor. Much appreciated, Trevor. Thank you very much. It's a great platform if you want to share things that are important that are going on, and that obviously that story is very important. And rest in peace. Nothing but strength and courage for the
His
family.
family.
That's right. Never
It
should have
shouldn't
happened.
have never happened. No.
No. Good morning, David. David's on his recovery. He should be home hopefully soon. Good morning. Take care. Stay safe as usual. Belinda says your God-given immune system isn't it magnificent?
Yes.
It's his. Very. Good morning, Sudbury campers from Brian Poulain. You know Brian. Nick.
Yep.
Danica, good morning. Heart emoji. Morning. Vin, thanks so much, guys, for being on here this morning. And then, good morning as well to Liette, right?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, Liette. Thanks for being with us today. And also, Denise. Now we're getting into, okay, it must be more than 10 years. I can't remember when I've had a sniffy nose or a sore throat, a cold cough, anything that I've been healthy for many years without any colds. I don't know why other people are so sick all the time. And that's true. And there's many reasons. That again, when you start looking into health, just because someone does get some cold doesn't mean they're doing their own immune system or it could be compromised, things like that. And some people need to work harder than others to be healthier. It just depends on your genetics and there's all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're doing the right things, you'll be less and less sick. There's no doubt about it. Even to the point of not being sick for years. That's true.
Yeah.
So Belinda says, and they contacted his wife, to see if she would donate his organs. Exactly. Can you imagine that? Yeah. So pretty terrible stuff. Weird. And hope this never happens to any of you when you need, your taxes go into paying for these hospitals and doctors and whatever. And just because you took your own health in your own hands and said, you know what, I don't want to take an experimental liquid into my body, then, okay, well, you're not going to do that. Well, we're not going to help you then. And it's just,
But hey, do you want to help us?
Things. Yeah. But hey, we want your organs.
Okay.
Hey.
So there was some Wolves.
Yeah. The Wolves won on Friday.
Journey was there with her dad.
Really? Did she like the game?
I don't know. I didn't talk to her, but it was funny because her dad sent me a selfie of her and I saw his buddy in the background. I'm like, oh, cool. There's your buddy in the background. And then he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know. So they had a big laugh because he's like, oh, I didn't even know you were right there. And you're right there. And when you go to the Wolves game, you see so many people, it's kind of fun. It's a cool little community. And I haven't seen a game yet this season, so I'm going to have to go. It looks like they're doing good.
They are doing good. Yeah, they continue the winning ways. This is from Sudbury.com. They came away victorious with a 3-1 win over Niagara at, it was the Remembrance Day game. It was sponsored by Sudbury.com. It was also a chance to pay tribute to Canada's war veterans. And, they had a ceremony before the game. It was pretty cool. And Sudbury.com's dude was there, Abbas Hamayed, and he says it's always a pleasure to sponsor the event. He's the director of community relations for Village Media for Sudbury.com. It's also a heartfelt way to honor our veterans for their sacrifices and pay tribute to the brave men and women who served and those who continue to serve in our armed forces. So anyways, Nate Krawchuk, my goalie, my guy, was in.
Yeah, your guy.
And they won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Now, he's not the number one again this year. Jakob Vondras is, and he's a great goalie. So I mean, hey, this is another year. Krawchuk is so young. He'll get a chance. He'll get his chance. But Vondras was in net. He was ill. So Krawchuk got the game and he got the win. So we won. And that's looking forward to a good season this year. We got to get out as much as possible. Do you go to these? Do you ever go to these Comic-Con things? Those. Everyone
I
dresses up as something and they go,
I've never been, but I participated. I had a vendor table
oh,
at one of
okay.
them.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
actually me, one of my downlines, and it's quite the event.
Oh yeah, no, people love this stuff, everyone who's into, all. So we had our pop culture uh Comic-Con kind of thing. Pop culture toys and art came together at this is from Sudbury.com as well. The Pop Culture Canada's Sudbury Comic-Con. It was on Saturday at the Northbury Hotel. It's a traveling show and it attracted hundreds to the event, showcasing the best of
He
cosplay and comics.
he said that Sudbury is his biggest show. He
Oh,
goes
cool.
everywhere. He goes to Toronto, Bowmanville, Oshawa,
Yeah, yeah.
London, and he says Sudbury is his biggest show.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
that's shows that, there's a lot of fans here in that genre or whatever. And so,
Well, they're getting out.
yeah, it's like Halloween again kind of thing. You dress up as your favorite character and
Probably an insult if you
celebrate.
say something like that.
Is it? I don't really.
don't know. I don't know, but it's not Halloween. It's
I know it's a celebration of your favorite characters that you are into, kind of thing. But
yeah, but you know
good
who knows?
chance. Go.
Yeah,
Who knows what? Who?
who knows what these days?
Exactly. Well, good chance they went out for Halloween as that character too, though. I would think because
They
if you
probably did.
like, who are you going to choose to go out as, other than one of your favorite characters, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, Sudbury.com. Anything else going on here? I think there is. So we avoided a strike. That'll come up a little bit later at Nawsum. But did you notice? I know you've been away and you've been sick too, so maybe you haven't. The headline is, "Why are snow plows on city streets without any snow?" And I did have that question because I've seen them.
They are scraping the concrete?
No, but the plow trucks
just
are just driving around, right? So despite the lack of snow accumulation on our city streets, municipal and contracted winter maintenance crews are exploring city streets as part of the
Sure.
annual winter test runs.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah,
Sounds
they're
just
going
like
out.
corruption to me. They just had to spend some money.
Okay. Well, it makes sense in a way, right? Like, why wait for a big blizzard to go on your run for the
Well,
first
what do you
time?
mean? Are you guys new? Are you
Yeah.
new around here?
They-
Like, what are we
Yeah,
what are we
some of them
looking
are.
at?
Some of them are. They're contracted drivers.
Okay,
So it'd
you're
be the
right.
first time they're on these streets, right? So they all went out and said, "Okay, here's your route. You go out and do a test run,
All right,
drive around,
okay.
and pretend you're plowing."
That cost us 250,000.
Yeah, it could have. I don't know. They don't have a price tag here. The intent, according to city media release issued in the week, is for municipal and contracted crews to familiarize themselves with routes before the white stuff falls.
Before the white falls.
Yeah, before the white stuff comes. So this is a quote from their
Okay, that makes
media
sense.
release. These test runs allow crews to identify potential hazards. So now they're looking at different, things that if the snow was over it, they could knock it out, right? So they wouldn't realize it's there.
Okay. Well, now we have high expectations for their plowing
right.
services.
Yes, for sure. So, anyways, it's a thing. I would do the same thing. I think that's smart to do that for sure.
Yeah, it is.
It's expected to begin November 6th. I've already seen it happening. So it's expected to begin today, it says, and conclude November 24th, and coincides with the beginning of external contracts for winter maintenance activities. I wonder how many we have contracted and how many are city employees. Like, do we have
Right.
more, do we have more that are, city employees or more contractors? Because I know the trend was to go more contractors and try to save money. But I know quality, I don't know. What do you think about the road quality over the years, like for snow plowing and stuff? Do you think it's gotten better or worse?
I just don't think it was ever good. I don't remember it ever being good or ever being early. We've always had issues, but lucky for me, for the last 9 years, I've been working from home. So I am not someone that should be giving an opinion of this, because the thing is first thing in the morning, how are the roads first thing in the morning? Usually in the afternoon, for me, they'll be fine. But, and I have really good tires. It makes a big difference. Winter tires, all season tires is not a thing. Sorry, guys. It is a thing. You're wasting your money. It's dangerous. You need winter tires.
And you need them from Voyager Tire because they just
Yes,
treat you so well there,
they
and the
do.
prices are just so fair. And so
Yes.
you're treated good and you get a good deal. You can't get anything better. Voyager
And if
Tire,
you
there. Where are they
if you call
located again?
them, ask them for the Nick Gervais discount.
The Nick discount. That's
Yeah,
right.
it might be $5. It might be nothing, but I just want them knowing that you called because of me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, even if you don't get, anything off their price, it's more than likely cheaper than where you're going
Oh,
to
it
get it
is.
anywhere
It's
else
hands down.
anyways.
I shopped around when I was really angry with my brother and I didn't want to buy tires from him.
You're like, oh, darn it.
Oh,
I got
I
to buy
gotta
my
buy
tires from
from
you.
yes.
So, yeah, and they're located by the old Saturn dealership, which is now, I think, the bus
Yeah. Second Ave.
on corner of Second Ave and the Kingsway there.
Yep.
And you just turn in on Second Ave. And instead of turning into the Millennium Center to go to Boston Pizza, you take a left, and you'll see their sign right in there as one of the businesses within that kind of strip mall there.
Yep.
So we almost had a strike at the medical school, Nossum, and they averted it. So there's no strike. So the students don't have to worry about having anything interrupted or anything. So I guess
Oh, that could
everyone's
be a
happy.
headache. So
Yep.
that's good.
Everyone's happy at
When
Nossum.
there's an issue and people talk about it, communicate, and come to an understanding. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. It's really neat. And that almost leads into another one of our stories. But first, good morning, Denise. Good morning, everyone. Just as we have new people jumping on, I just want to make sure. And a lot of you are commenting. Thank you for commenting. Please keep them coming. And really appreciate that. As we see Claire is joining us as well. Good morning. The exclamation point. What were we saying? We're just going to, oh yeah. So Day of Peace. Watch this. So YMCA, I never knew they did this, but it's a week of peace or something like that. Hang on, I've got to get it. It's on Sudbury.news, our feed. And did I already go over it?
Oh, here you
I'm
are.
trying to get comments here up on the screens. YMCA, they're asking.
The Northern prepares for a peace week
Peace
in
Week.
these troubled times.
There you go. I must have went
Huh.
right over that story.
By celebrating YMCA Peace Week together, we are taking a stand and creating the future we want for our community, country, and world.
Yes.
And it's a massive tank, a
In the
picture of a
picture.
tank with an Israel flag. Looks like it was
Looks like
photoshopped, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
it actually does look. The flag does. That's interesting.
Yeah,
So YMCA
probably
is,
not a real picture.
is preparing for Peace Week. This is great.
With
So,
wars raging in Ukraine and Gaza and in other parts of the world, the YMCA Northeastern Ontario is preparing for the annual YMCA Peace Week.
Yep. So that's cool. That's hey, we need. You remember
We
John
need
Lennon?
peace.
John Lennon. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Do you remember the band he was
Yeah.
in?
Yeah, the Beatles.
Sorry. I don't know. Sometimes I'm able to get you on certain things like that just because, different.
I know John
different
Lennon.
music.
Legend.
I know. Okay. John Lennon.
Lennon. There you go.
He is a legend, though.
He
But anyways,
is a legend.
back in the day, he's a really brilliant marketer. Him and Yoko Ono, they did really cool marketing things. I used to bring them up in class all the time. They're examples. So, you know how people declare war, like I'm declaring war, and they go to war and they invade a country or whatever.
Right.
Well, he declared peace. He declared it because
Right.
there was people going around declaring war. He said, "Why can't I just declare peace?" And he funded the whole campaign himself. He got expensive billboards in really high traffic areas, and he declared peace on the world. And
That's
I just
awesome.
thought, brilliant, and that's where Give Peace a Chance, these songs, for all about peace. And so why can't we just get along? Why can't we just
It's true. It's
But
important. It's interesting though that the YMCA uses an Israel flag, but doesn't put both. Like we need peace between these two parties.
yeah, exactly. And again,
So
people
they're
are
taking
picking,
a stand, but
yeah,
they want peace.
and some people are picking sides, and I don't think necessarily it's you're not going to have peace if you're dividing
Picking
more
sides.
people. I think just war, no one wins other
No,
than
but
companies that
the
make
money.
ammunition and
You know,
powers.
we're
People
in a
get more
world
powerful.
where there's a benefit to war. There's a
Yeah.
benefit to diseases. There's a benefit to
Hmm.
issues. It's just when we have a system that runs like that, we're never really going to have a peaceful environment. It's going to be a corrupted environment. But,
Yeah.
I like what they're trying to do, the YMCA. That's awesome. They
Yeah.
say
No, for sure.
we all have the opportunity each day to choose to act for peace. They
We
may
do.
be small actions, but they make a big difference and create a ripple effect through our community. By sharing our message of peace, we are able to inspire others to become engaged in peaceful actions. Pretty
Yes,
cool.
it is for sure. And speaking of peaceful and sharing, is now that I have you on here, there's certain groups and things. You know how they're community on Facebook, and if we share the video with them,
Yeah.
I just noticed the Valley East community one. I think we lost our membership with them because and I read their community notes and it said don't share any videos on their page or whatever. And I know
Who
we
runs that page again?
no, that's not Kerwin. That's a
No?
different. No.
Oh,
There's a couple Valley East ones. This is an alternative to
oh.
uh, the Kerwin
I love how
Facebook
all these
page.
people have all these rules
But
about their pages.
I know, but I guess they don't want to be. We're speaking political and division and all this, and they don't want certain things. Anyways, just give you a heads up to
That's
maybe
true.
because I know you share the living daylights out of this, which we really appreciate, and it's good because it gets the word out. But I just noticed that, and again, we won't be on Facebook all that much longer, anyways. I don't
It's
think.
true. We're
So
not.
Mike Perrott, who we had on the show, along with Natalie Labby and Pauline Fortune,
Oh,
three
cool.
three counselors, I guess chiming in on our discussion about the snow plowing. Are you able to read that at all
I
or
hear
no?
frustration about snow removal frequently. Our snow removal policy is one of the highest standards and very costly, but we have 3,600 kilometers of road. And
100% true.
okay,
Yes.
I get that, Mike, but it looks like roads were done way better when we weren't amalgamated.
Possibly yes. And yes. And then I can speak to that too.
So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
like, this is your problem.
We
Not your
almost,
problem, Mike, but it's the city's problem. It's just like, oh, poor us. We have 3,600 kilometers of road and it's really expensive. It's like, you guys wanted this.
yeah. Well, yeah. And the
That's my
thing is,
opinion.
road maintenance was a lot better many years ago. I remember, they would anticipate storms and things and they would go out multiple times and it was really
And have
safe.
side sweepers,
Yeah. It was really
and
safe.
taking
Mhm.
the snow off the sidewalk. But like I was
Yeah.
just talking to Kevin yesterday and he was saying that when he was in Lively, they had all their own equipment and it was all nicely done and it was on time and in the morning and less accidents were probably happening because there were
Yeah.
more when you have it just makes sense when you amalgamate anything it doesn't
Yeah.
you become a number.
You
No one
lose
really cares.
you lose something
Yeah.
always. Yeah, it's
Sorry,
hard to
Mike, this is not
yeah.
about you. I hear you're a good guy, by the way.
There you go. So
We're also
Miles
in the same location, so
so Miles
you're
says
safe
he
with me,
got
dude.
a letter from the city last week where snow removal will not begin on their street until the snow has fallen 8
8
centimeters,
centimeters
changed from
changed from
5.
5.
See, we see where
See?
this is going, right?
Right.
It's just getting less and more dangerous as we try and save money or whatever things like that. But people's safety
Cutting
is,
corners.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's not easy. I'm glad it's not me making these decisions, but I have noticed a decline in the quality
Wow.
of the streets in the winter for sure. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, they wait
Yeah.
until it's done. They wait until the snow storm is over and then they all go out, and then that's not very safe for people. But that's just
Oh,
what I
this
see.
is funny. Natalie Labby says, FYI, I want to invite you to our fundraiser, Nat. So I'll be sending you and Mike, by the way, I'll send you guys both an invite to our fundraiser that are happening at my
Cool.
church.
Cool.
FYI, the city didn't want, she says the city didn't want amalgamation. The province force downloaded that onto the city. It wasn't
Ouch.
optional. For some reason, I don't believe that, Natalie. You're probably right. But it just sounds to me that the city, or there's people within the city that wanted this amalgamation because they wanted that money that would come. So there's no way that the province just forced this to happen without anybody in the city wanting this.
Hard to say. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. So we know. Well, look at this mayor's thing. You know, they're giving the mayors like unlimited powers. They have superpowers now. They're like super mayors. And that came from the province, but we did have a choice to take it or not.
That's a rule too.
Yeah,
that's a changing of the rule, not like, hey, we're going to change your whole city structure.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but it is kind of game changing in a lot of ways the same.
It also sounds a bit commie.
Yeah, it is actually.
And we are turning into a socialist environment. So
we already are socialist. We're moving towards communist. It is what it is. Everything is pointing towards that. If you know what those things mean, if you know what socialism is, communism is, most people don't. They're not able to see the signs of it and know what it is. So they just think it's a word like, you're a Nazi kind of thing. Like that, you know?
Right.
It means nothing. They don't even know what Nazi is, what happened in Germany.
Well,
kind of
yes. Dennis has a good point. He says, it's also your job to say no. It's also your job to inform the public. It's also your job to make sure that we have informed decision in our community. If the people aren't included, then why do we even bother paying taxes? And this is true. Like maybe we weren't really, we were told that we were going to save a lot of money. So it's really easy to have something happen in our city when you lie to us. You just lie to us. Tell us what we want to hear. Because we don't have the actual facts, because we don't really know what's going on. And then we don't really know the back end deals that are happening in Sudbury, and they're constantly happening in Sudbury.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really know. So yeah, we might have, some people thought, oh, this might be a good thing. You know, we're going to become greater Sudbury. But it ended up being a horrible thing. We didn't save any money. And then there's no repercussions. The French out of me is coming out. So Nat says, which means that the city inherited hundreds of extra kilometers to maintain with no help from the province. So again, who's fighting for who here? Like the city should have fought for that and said, we're not doing this. It doesn't sound like that's what happened. Why would the city want to restructure?
Well, Miles is saying that the Harris government at the time forced amalgamation
on many municipalities.
Well, that's how you have the GTA, right? The Greater Toronto Area. It's all amalgamated. Same idea.
Okay, she says that too. Because of all of Northern Ontario was supposed to amalgamate, and then Mike Harris changed his mind, and then North Bay to Parry Sound didn't have to all of a sudden. Conservative pushed it, but not for his writing after Sudbury amalgamation. It was done 23 years ago. Go check it out. So here's the thing. When this was happening, why wasn't it all over? Like, why didn't people use the media to say like, no, let's sign a petition? People can get things done. Obviously, people didn't want this, it looks like.
Well, it's hard, right? Because it's the province, because there's a lot of, because we are,
but there's votes. There must have been votes.
The government gives the city money for things.
Yeah.
So they could say,
we got bought.
Unless you do this,
you're not getting this.
You don't get certain funding and stuff like that, right? So it's complicated because there's federal funding, there's provincial funding.
Yeah, that's what Miles says. They forced it by cutting province funding to municipals who wouldn't comply. Exactly. But why can't we go back to how it was now?
Yeah, we can. It would be very messy. You can do that, though.
It looks like Sudbury likes messy.
Yeah, I guess. And it's true. And it's been. And I know the new councillors face this, the idea that they hear from their constituents that it's a thing. The whole amalgamation thing is a thing with people in Sudbury. They notice their services.
Didn't we also lost a person for vote in North?
So this was federal. So
right. So
federally, we're losing.
They're just mixing us into everything anyways. now.
Well, again, right? So, yeah, government will, makes decisions. You elect them, and then you hope they do make decisions that are in your favor.
Which they
And
never do, really.
well, yeah,
90% of the time.
what your sentiments you're saying are what a lot of people feel these days. There's no doubt about it. Um, it's not uncommon. That's for sure. So
No.
many good comments coming in here, even from people I've never seen on before. So I really appreciate the comments. So thank you very much,
Yeah,
everyone.
Paul agrees. He says the amalgamation was the city's downfall and the greatest mistake, period.
Yeah, yeah, it's done, okay, there's good and bad with everything, right? So some good came out of it and
Well,
some
we're
bad
looking
came out
for
of
the
it.
good. Here's the thing. The good was already there.
Yeah.
It's just now we're going to put in the category that it was amalgamation, but it was, it's just
Yeah.
it's just the city. A bunch of people need to not be here. And I feel like maybe we can have a less corrupt town because it's run by men, specific men. And, they're not doing us any good. It's all
Okay.
about money. It's all about ego and it's all about control.
Okay. So,
But let's move on. Aaron, what else is going on in the news? Aaron?
I was just going to say, does it have to be men or is it a human thing? Could you have?
It's a man. No, they are men because women have tried to run and women have said there's a men group here and most of the people know who they are. And
So
until
Chrystia Freeland, who's the deputy prime minister, you think she has all of the best intentions for the country and she tries to stand up to
I'm talking about
Justin Trudeau?
Sudbury, our little Sudbury town.
Yeah, well, there's women in power in Sudbury as well. Our former mayor, Marianne Matichuk.
Well, she'll tell you that she didn't really have much power, that she was shut down and she couldn't really do anything because of these men.
True. Well, that's been going on a long time, but what I would suggest is corruption doesn't know gender.
Well, I don't know.
No.
No, you're right.
Women can be
Obviously.
just as corrupt. Women can be bought and paid for just as much.
Oh,
as
definitely. But when it's been generational.
That's what it is. So it's coming from,
yes,
back when, and it's, obviously there's a lot of things in place to try and include more diversity in that, but it's hard to do that with power. People at the top, king of the hill. You don't just say, "Oh, here, I have total power. You can take over my total power."
People shouldn't have that much power.
There you go. So that's exactly right. No matter if you're a man or a woman.
No, exactly.
But they're giving more powers now to mayors. So mayors now have unlimited powers, basically, to do whatever the province wants them to do quickly.
Okay. Has our mayor done anything good or bad lately?
Well, the mayor said he wasn't going to do this at first. He said, "You know what? I'm not going to take these powers. I'm not going to do it."
Sure. Okay. And now he changed his mind?
Last week or the week after. He said, "Yeah, well, you know what? You know what?
Of course.
I
think I'm going to take the power."
I don't agree with it because it's partisan. You can't really agree with a political party that's opposite of yours. But
right.
You know what, though? I'm going to take it, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to take it, but I'm not really going to use the power.
Do we see where this is going? This is foreshadowing.
So we already seen where it was. He says he's not going to take it, but then took it. So now he says he's not going to use the powers, but then in the future, well, I had to use the powers because of this.
Exactly.
Like
I'm forced to.
You and I aren't that smart, right? But we were able to figure something like that out very easily. It is what it is. It's all public. It's all how you appear to the public, and it's politics. Politics is politics. Yeah.
Yes. Politics. Just a bunch of lying people. That's not true. You know what? I like Natalie. I like Mike. You guys are doing a really good job. So there are really good politicians, but the majority have been bought in, and it's all ego.
It is like I like, there was certain, or what was his name? Record producer. He did We Are the World. He did all kinds of stuff with Michael Jackson anyways. So he had a sign on the door saying, "Leave your ego at the door when you come in here," because they're all superstars coming in to do this
Yeah.
song project, right? And he realized that gets in the way of stuff. You know, if you inhale, kind of thing, then you start believing, you know, you're better than other people or you're part of this elite group. That's what ends up happening once you get in to the
Yeah.
club. But anyways, go ahead.
No, I was just laughing at one of the comments, but I don't really want to comment it on in case one day that comes back and bites me. But
Okay.
it's the comments are really cool, guys. We're really enjoying reading the comments, and so yeah, it's when you think you're an elite, I just don't know about you, but there's lots of stories. One of the oldest book that ever existed. What happens to these people who have so much ego and elites and believe in their own philosophies? Um, it doesn't end well for anybody.
No,
So that's what I'm, betting on. I'm just going to bet on still being a good person, have my own voice, allow myself to be vulnerable, just keep trying, keep learning because I'm a
yeah,
student. That's what I am. I'm not better than anybody. I'm allowed opinions doesn't mean I'm better than you, but I think people need to be more humbled and
yeah,
realize that we're here for a short time,
for sure.
not a long time.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
All right.
Trooper. Oh, I was going to ask you who sings that song. Sorry, crud.
Oh,
Would you
I
have
was
got
gonna say I don't have a clue.
exactly? Okay, so there's one example or whatever. Just sometimes generational things or whatever. Yeah,
We say things and we just have no clue where it comes
yeah.
from.
But you definitely know John Lennon, and that's cool, and
Mhm.
that's awesome. There's a debate. So here's the next headline on Sudbury.news from
Yeah.
CBC: debate over carbon pricing and furnace oil heating up as temperatures drop in Northern Ontario. The federal Liberal government's decision to drop the carbon tax from furnace oil has turned from heating into a hot political topic, including in Northern Ontario, where thousands are on oil heat.
Okay.
So he says if you heat your house with oil, you're not going to pay the carbon tax this year.
Well,
But
if people don't have to pay, that's cool.
it turns out that there's a certain demographic in a certain place that has mostly people who vote for Liberal, mainly in the East Coast, that if you do 40% of the area of people that heat their homes with home heating oil are in Newfoundland and Labrador and in that area, and that happens to be Liberal voters.
Oh, well, how
So
convenient.
so
Look at
we
that.
don't
Here's some good
know.
news,
So
but
so
there's a
why?
back end.
Yeah. So then he makes up a story of why it's home heating oil gets the carbon tax reduction, which is the most polluting, carbon emitting home heating solution there is. So he's going to give a break on that, which doesn't. How does that make any sense? Usually you would do the opposite. You tax the one that's
Well, I
polluting the
thought we
most,
needed to save the world.
kind of thing, right? So then why wouldn't you then give a break for everyone on the carbon tax kind of thing? And Andrew Scheer actually was in town. He's the former leader of Conservatives and was in town getting people to sign a petition just for that reason alone, just to say, hey, why don't you give the same opportunity to other people? People are suffering, not just people who are using home heating oil. You know what I mean? Like,
And you buy your home with whatever heating there is. It's very expensive to change your heating once you buy your home. So most people have what they have because they have what they have, not because of choice. I know there's choice. And people have changed to natural gas, and I'm just saying you're not really helping families here. But it looks like he's just trying to do anything for some more votes because he knows he's going to be out.
yeah, I think that's the consensus. Um, so it's political. So on that note, I announced on Friday that Andrew Scheer, we didn't have a video, but we were on the radio, and I announced that he would be in town. He would be meeting at the Scotia Building and then going to Vivienne Lapointe's office to basically, and then invited the press. So Stephen, who's commenting on the show today, I guess put a post up in a political Facebook page, and he says it appears, as announced on CKLU's right-wing political news show this morning, that PC Party former leader Andrew Scheer will appear at 11 a.m. At the downtown Scotia Tower parking to sign some petitions about the carbon tax.
Okay.
So the host kept saying, as it's near Liberal MP Vivienne Lapointe's parking lot, but it's a block away.
Oh no! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and
wow, should get your information right.
Yeah, so, and they did. They just met at the parking lot and they walked over to her office because Sudbury doesn't have parking, right? Well, there's very little parking now. They got half the downtown under construction too. There's even less parking.
Yeah.
So the host of the right-wing radio show seems to suggest, with a ring of glee, that there might be some kind of collaboration with Sudbury's Liberal MP, or some kind of confrontation with Sudbury's Liberal MP. And so, just for the record, I didn't insinuate that there was going to be any confrontation with anyone. I just said that he's going to be there and he's going to invite people.
How dare you say that it was out of her office, but it was a block away. But, at any point, maybe they could have changed their location. But, oh my gosh, Aaron, let's really pick at that information, that detailed information you said, because you were wrong. They were a block away. How dare you? How dare you?
A couple of things I kind of take, issue with the comments.
Steven says, you said it was outside her office, though.
Yeah, or whatever. It is what it is. They met at the Scotia Tower Park.
Yeah.
And then they were going to go down to Vivienne Lapointe's office, to the office. They didn't have to go in. I never said she's going to come out and they're going to do something, or they're going to be confrontational.
2 blocks away. We better be straight.
Oh, 2 blocks away, yeah.
2 blocks away.
Anyways,
it looks like Steven's the type of person who's probably very detailed oriented, and he's never wrong. This guy's never wrong. He's never been wrong in his life. He's a perfect human being, and he knows the way, and we should all follow Steven.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but it's true. It was a couple, I don't know. I didn't say how far it was away. I said they're going to go to the Scotia Tower and then they're going to meet at Vivienne Lapointe's office. So CTV was there and they did an interview. Then he went to Radio Canada and did an interview with CBC. But what Stephen says here is the right-wing radio show host. So I'm just wondering if, Stephen, if you're able to show me a post you've ever met where you've talked about a left-wing radio show host saying something. If you talk unbiasedly like that, like if you say, oh, the left-wing Marcus Schwabe said this on CBC today, because he's definitely left-wing. We know that. It's very apparent that mainstream media is left-wing. So do you ever say far left-wing radio show hosts, the other ones other than maybe this one? Because I probably just seem right-wing because, well, first of all, I am, because I've declared it, which other radio show hosts won't do. They don't do that. They just speak it and then, pretend they're unbiased. But I come right out and say, I'm more towards that in my fundamental beliefs and whatever, right? My principles. So, but I'm not far right. Maybe it seems like that now. And maybe the other side, the far left, has demonized a far right. So that way, when you say that, it's kind of weaponized. So when you say far right, then people go, he's one of those. So you're kind of playing into the propaganda. Yeah. You're kind of playing into propaganda there. You're doing the very thing we try to kind of uncover on the show to say, look, be aware that this stuff's going on out there. He came to Sudbury to get a petition for Sudburyans to sign to say, why do we have to pay carbon tax when someone else isn't paying it? And it shouldn't even be there in the first place, crying out loud. If you look at a map of North America, you got Mexico, United States, and Canada. Out of those three countries, who has the most people?
Not us.
No. Mexico, way ahead of us. United States, way ahead of us. The United States has 10 times more people. How much carbon tax do they pay in the United States?
Probably 0.
0. Yeah. How much carbon tax do they pay in Mexico?
0.
How much carbon tax do they pay in China?
0.
How much carbon tax do they pay in India?
0.
Brazil.
0.
The most populated countries in the world pay 0 carbon tax.
Do I get a ding, 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 ding for being right?
Oh, yes, you do. Sorry about that. Where do we go? Yeah, you've been right on all of them.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
So again, Canada's 40 million people are paying a carbon tax. First of all, it's not much money to them, to the world, to climate. Climate goes,
Right.
wow,
It makes no difference.
yeah. Justin Trudeau says, take this, climate. Look at this tax. I'm going to tax my people. So there, climate. And then climate just laughs at Justin Trudeau and says, look at you. You know, it does affect someone who's can't afford to feed their family and can't afford
Big time.
to live. It affects them, but it doesn't affect the climate, and it doesn't affect the world.
No.
Like, the world's not paying a carbon tax. So your little contribution to the world, but to that individual, it's huge and it's detrimental.
And we don't, it's not like they're transparent and showing us exactly where this, millions of dollars is going to go to do this, to help this.
No.
We're not seeing any of that. But what just boggles my mind is that there's people trying to make a difference for our community. And then there's other people that are just want to share their opinion about misinformation and ruin this event that someone's actually trying to do something to help families that can't afford to pay carbon tax.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really frustrating.
We'll go down in the future in history, or the history that will be in the future, and look back to now and say, look, we told you it didn't do anything. Weather happens, climate, you can't do nothing about it. You can manipulate weather all you want. You can cause.
They are doing that right now. They've come out and said that they're doing it. We don't think that that might have an effect on the weather, guys. They're openly saying they are manipulating the weather.
Stephen says, Canada's on the leading edge.
Oh, yeah.
Canada
Steven.
businesses will go out of business very soon with the government that we have in power. Oh, he doesn't say that. Canada businesses will be early adopters. Yeah, we won't have businesses, Stephen, because it's only the government that's investing in them now. They're investing billions of your tax money because an investor won't invest in these companies. And it's just going to turn into full-on communism because it'll only be government, infused businesses with government money. So you'll just have government corporations. Air Canada, example of that. We can't have companies. The government has to do everything here. So you're not going to have private investors investing in this crap. It's not going to work. So I'll just be done with that.
Increasing the Canadian green economy. Right.
Yeah, it's green, all right.
It's green. It's not even green.
No, it's not green. Solar and wind.
It's actually worse.
Does more damage to the environment than the oil and coal even. Coal's greener than solar and wind. When you take into account manufacturing the wind turbines and the maintenance it takes on them and the fact they don't even create electricity. There's hardly any wind. You look at wind turbines, how often are they actually turning? They're mostly just sitting there still. You know what I mean? And then they rust out and then you got to change them out again. And
they're killing the birds.
Killing the birds, killing the whales. They're putting them offshore now, killing all the whales. Where's all the Greenpeace people now? Where's Gilbo out trying to stop putting the windmills out to try and save the whales? You know what I mean?
It's so
just
funny.
Terrible.
We're in the age where the right is wrong and wrong is right. Because he's saying that our head is in the sand.
It's inverted. Yeah. So, anyways, he obviously
That's
watched
okay.
the show for the last year and some, and he's heard experts that we've shared and will continue to share on it. So you just must be blocking your ears and going la 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 la. I mean, Justin Trudeau. Has anyone's life gotten better since Justin Trudeau's been in power?
No. No.
Done. Done. End of story. This guy was a part-time drama teacher before he became the Prime Minister of Canada. A
He
part-time
got fired.
fired because of some sexual thing
Yep.
that he did, and a part-time drama teacher who was fired because you know.
Yeah.
What did he do? Let's look into that. I don't know. I don't even know what he did exactly. Maybe that's something for you to look into. But he's running our country now, and as far as I can see, I don't think things are better than they were when he first took the reins. So, but you have to ask yourself that: is this guy competent, incompetent, or is he tanking the country on purpose? That's really what it boils down to. It's all the time we got, unfortunately.
Yep.
But Earshot Daily is coming up on CKLU 96.7 FM. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Now you're going to be busy, right?
I could come in tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, come on tomorrow. It was a great show today. I appreciate you being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Ciao, and Nick, and have a great one, everyone. Thanks for commenting. Stay tuned for Earshot Daily. As mentioned, we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow with Nick on the show. Have a great Monday, everyone. Ciao.